OBS says that it just dropped and then restarted. I'm sorry if something happened. I don't know what would have happened. Where was I? Yes, I'm thinking about it while eating my blueberries. I'm trying to figure out what the timeline is for Iris. Because we were under the impression that Sholmes is caring for her because her father went somewhere else or died or something, right? In the very beginning. And we've been led to believe that Dr. John H. Wilson, that was killed at the beginning of the game, in the first game, was that father who'd gone away for a while. But if that's her dad's notes in there, Mikotsuba's the dad, that means he's her dad. Right? Unless, is she actually Dr. John H. Wilson's kid, and for some reason he just handed her off to Sholmes? I guess, like, if he was going overseas, he'd have to have somebody take care of her, right? But then where's her mom? Oh my god, help. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson?
Oh, no, my dear. I'm still my old self. Yuji Mikotsuba, your father. Oh, of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met! Pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotsuba? 16 years ago, Sholmes? Yes, quite 16 years ago! I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodging close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. The rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right. So I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense, and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see.
Cohabitation? Tell us.
Hard to believe it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotsuba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. That case with which you've become rather familiar yourselves. The professor killings. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. So there you have it, and as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing. Professor Mikotsuba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner.
Father.
Oh, goodness, my dear, what a cutting look.
As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
And that is?
You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father.
Of course, I'd almost forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose.
Thank you for answering our questions now instead of later. Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes?
That is indeed what I told young Iris.
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you.
Upon my word, Mr. Sato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. What?
What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris...
Oh, there it is, Susato-san's ice cold stare. No, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think.
Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is.
There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot just before she... No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes, when you get all dressed up. Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikoto and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. No, fuck you! Fuck you! Give us the answer! Are they family or not?
I need the timeline explained. Now! But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikoto. The game is afoot! But Sholmes, I really must give this out a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already.
This theme, though, hang on, I'm gonna listen to it for a second. Oh, this is a good theme. I don't think we've hit a loop point yet, actually. I'm sorry, is that Beric Von Ziek's theme in there? No, it's not. It's just a normal deduction theme that's been, like, put into this really up-tempo thing. Oh, I almost psyched myself out. Yeah, this whole theme is just another remix of it. It's so good, though! Hello? Okay, now I think we've hit our loop point.
Oh, you haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visited our home after 10 long years, and when I opened that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. As if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regained consciousness, I plunged straight into all this.
Father, please! Go with Mr. Sholmes now.
What?
I've no doubt that whatever happened, you are acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you completely.
Chisara.
And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams.
Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle, and in reaching a decision. A decision about whether to go back to Japan, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself.
No kidding, Ryunosuke. Holy
It
shit.
would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth. And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
I like how the music's still going. It's very good music. Wait, end? End? Oh, did they make the final two cases a two-parter? Like case 4 and case 5 are just the same thing? Huh! Final. That looks very much like they... Oh my god. Okay, no wonder. I was sitting here wondering how long case 4 was gonna be. Surprise! It's they wrapped it up in 2 cases. That's why. Okay. Whew. Wow.
Alright. Well, I guess we're going straight into court.
Oh, everything else has like these really pretty cards or like interesting design aspects. Just writing. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, we don't even get our opening narration either? Oh, shit. Oh, I don't think I'm ready for case 5. I thought maybe we'd finish case 4 today, then move on. No. It's all part of it. Okay. The 3rd of November, 9:14 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. They did change this pretrial music, huh? Oh my god. Okay.
So the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mrs. Sato. Mrs. Sato?
Oh, it's been a while since we had one of those.
Oh no! What's the matter, Miss Naruto? Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but...
I'm so sorry. Of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but I shan't let you down.
Would you mind helping me to my feet, then?
Oh dear, I'm really very sorry.
Susato-san isn't her usual self at all. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention...
Good morning, sir.
Lord Van Zieks. Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday.
Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruto.
Good point. The Reaper, I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend. That led to all this.
But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zieks.
It's only because Serious Crime in the Capital dropped off so shortly when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. Not having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod to wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go, what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion. It's just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint Van Zieks.
Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes. That burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air?
Why was he able to smell that?
Oh, but Iris, when did you get here?
Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Harley loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head.
I thank you.
Oh.
That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris.
Oh?
Sort of subdued, I suppose?
I am not.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Sei's laboratory.
Alright then, good luck to you both. I have to make a move now.
Oh, you're not staying? I thought you wanted to watch today's proceedings.
Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready.
Get ready? For what?
Oh yes. Why don't you take this?
The little keychain. Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack?
Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once.
A Hurley? It looks more like a Hairly to me. Hairly.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. A little doll of Mrs. Sholmes in hair form. I've been told to tug its ears if I run out of options in the trial today.
You think? What we'll need is luck?
I just need to peek inside the courtroom. And it seemed very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean?
What about Mrs. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he hadn't come home by the time I left this morning.
Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikotsuba out all night too, do you think, Mrs. Soto?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
Judge Jigoku too?
That's right. Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Bruno. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Iris.
And you, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, hi, Em. Welcome. I'm glad you're able to join us on your lunch break. And you're just in time. We literally just started the final case of the game. So we're going to be presumably getting thrown in who knows how many loops and twists and turns because, my god, it doesn't feel like it's the end yet. We must go inside now, Lord Van Zieks. Genuinely, I know it's already been like a month or two since I started playing this game, so it has lasted quite a while, but I thought, for some reason, I thought it'd be longer. So now I've got to start considering what my next game is gonna be.
Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court, but not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asagi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, this one final reckoning. Are we not gonna get an investigation? Is this case gonna be all courtroom trial? Holy shit. Oh man.
3rd of November, 9:30 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Mr. Naruhodo, look! Hi!
Okay.
Lord Strongheart? Cosmo must have known beforehand. The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of a country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial, and one over which I, Male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
Oh. Hi, Sui! Welcome in. Good morning. You are just in time for us to start the final case of this game. We're immediately being thrown into court after finishing our investigations in the previous one. I am not ready for this. I thought we still had way more time.
The 6 jurors' flames just... As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zeeks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact.
Did you do that on purpose? Just to hurt him?
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session for the trial of Beric Van Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder.
This is also a new theme. Oh my god. You have a new game planned out soon. I've got a couple of ideas, actually. I need to actually decide on something, but... Ooh. Oh, that was good. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the music. I think this is a remix of his theme. Like, the one that plays in his office. Oh, that is so good. Can everybody hear the music all right? My god, this is such a good rendition of this theme. Okay, I'm sorry. Every time a new track plays, I'm going to be like this. I love orchestral music because I used to do orchestra and band and stuff when I was a kid. And specifically, like, orchestras used in video game music sound so good. It needs to happen more often than it actually does. But this whole soundtrack, I'm pretty sure was meant to be an orchestrated thing. So it's just, ooh, love listening to it. But yes, ideas for next game. I was considering... I have been really big into Harvest Moon recently. Because I am planning a tabletop game based around Harvest Moon and Rune Factory and stuff. And so I'm thinking I might get Rune Factory 5 for Steam just to be able to stream it. Especially because I hear it runs better on Steam than like on the Switch, unfortunately. I also am considering, there's this game called like My Life as a Teenage Exocolonist or something like that, and even though it's got a card system based gameplay thing to it, apparently it's really fucking good writing. And that one has just gone on sale recently, so I might end up going for that, but I'm still in the process of deciding. And there are a bunch of other like farming games that I know are coming out on Steam, if not already out. Like I think My Time at Sandrock is about to have its full release, if it hasn't already. So there's a bunch of options I'm considering right now, but it's something along the lines of like more visual novel type stuff, or alternatively it's going to be some sort of like farming sim type thing, because I love them. They're very fun.
Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice. Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson.
Teenagers call it, you've seen it on YouTube and it looks neat. Yes, I do very much like the idea of like getting to experience a visual novel thing fresh, because I had a lot of fun when I played, Volcano Princess, about to call it Princess Maker. But I had a lot of fun when I played Volcano Princess, and so I think another sort of like visual novel, stat-raisy type game would be fun. And then yes, I hope we get the English sub for Miss Izukaya DLC 4 soon. I might wait until the 5th one comes out before going to the 4th one, but I basically tackled them one at a time last time, so it would make sense to just do 4 when it comes out. But I absolutely intend on going back to Izukaya once the English sub drops.
In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact, he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories at the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convicts' escape. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He has recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed 1 day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on the 31st of October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday. The time of death was 5 p.m. on the 1st of November. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There is evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident. It would, yes. Especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities, then? Scotland Yard put enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now.
Is it gonna be Gina? Gina, hi! Hello, my little darling child. I want you to grow up safe and healthy.
State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting. Representative of Scotland Yard. a self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina, again? What's your problem, Otto? What's with that? Gina, again? Look, The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did. Who's this Cosmo? What happened to Dracula guy? Oh my gosh. So right now, Dracula guy has been accused of murder. So we're defending him in court, which means somebody else must be the prosecutor. And in the first game, Cosmo was our best friend. He was meant to be the defense attorney that went on this trip, but he was killed. So we took his place. Surprise, plot twist in the second game. He's not actually dead. He was unconscious, and he lost his memories when he was attacked. So he came to Britain while he had no memories, and ended up being taken in under Dracula's wing as a protege. And so now that Dracula has been accused of murder, Kazuma is taking his place and is prosecuting against him. His name is Beric von Zieks, by the way, Dracula. I didn't realize that was a pun. Nice. Sounds like wonderful nonsense. It definitely threw me for a loop the first time they threw it at us. Luckily, they didn't try to keep it like a big, shocking plot twist thing. As soon as Ryunosuke and Susato saw him, even though he was wearing a mask and a cloak and stuff, they basically immediately recognized he was Kazuma. It's just that he didn't have the memories to recognize them. So, like, by the end of the case where he was showing up in court with Beric von Zieks, he already had his memory back. Alright, there. Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean? Got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Told me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, out of all the goodness of Gregson's heart. All out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes. No. Friend, thank you for continuing to refer to Dracula through the whole explanation. Not a problem. We'll make it clear, that way you can understand it. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling. That face. Lord Strongheart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report. Coming right up, sir.
The victim's movements.
All your detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at that place too.
Interesting.
Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets? It's been suggested that the high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity.
Stop, Sui! Don't make fun of me! I'm doing my best! Half the time they don't even write her with an accent! Ah! Unless you really did mean that to genuinely be like the best one, then which I accept the compliment. But if you're making fun of me, I'm trying!
No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid the tales of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge. And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter. That can't be. We haven't heard anything about any of this. Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. the accused, Beric Van Zieks, was present. That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but Lord Van Zieks has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord Van Zieks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. Very well then, counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
Oh, it's genuine. Oh, okay, thank you, Sui. I always get so self-conscious about the accents because I know I say it so often, but I feel like they are really inconsistent with how they write the accents or like when they write the accents specifically. Like for her, they pretty consistently have her drop the H's, and sometimes they have her put words together like supposed and all that. But a lot of the times they don't do that. So it just makes it very hard for me to pick up like where I'm supposed to be putting the accent stuff into it. So thank you for assuaging, whatever the word is, my fears.
All your detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told.
Hold it!
So, you follow orders, do you, Gina? Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see? Oh. My boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go and give Toby his grub, that kind of thing. So, errands more than orders, then? This detective is still an apprentice, after all. Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't going to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation into what happened. I didn't find much at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. So you went through Inspector Gregson's things? Yeah, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into his office when no one was about. Of course, if anyone at the yard had seen me going in there, they'd have turned me straight out onto the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else. The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook. You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and the trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it in one of the desk drawers that had a false button. That's impressive. So then I went to add myself when no one could find me, so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. Because if anyone at the yard had found me out, I'd have turfed me straight out into the street. I've given it in now, though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would never have been found. According to that, the boss was looking into some smoking goods dealings that day. Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place? Yeah, it was all in the boss's notes. I'd see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. Therefore, prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name of these proceedings. I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now. Can't I show you what I can do? Go on, what's on? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Fuck it, let's go! This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there's some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Cosima? There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive. Alright then, I get to show off my reading skills. Apparently, smuggled goods deal is going to happen at a gentleman's club called The Grouse.
Hold it!
The Grouse. That doesn't sound like a familiar name.
The Grouse? What sort of a club is that? I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I am kind of curious. They're not places where a foreign student like you would readily be admitted. Have you looked in the mirror recently? Tell you what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover. Could you, though? I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out what I was in there. I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it? It's gotta be. That's what the lower ranking detectives at the yard reckon. Says the even lower ranking detective. I love her. She just has so much cheek. She's out here like, yeah, fuck you guys, I'm the best. Been here for like, what, 2 months? We stand. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. So how did Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case? That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so... Why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, because, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, point is, something went on at that club, no question. You can't say that for certain, though, surely. What matters most is, the witnesses what saw the Reaper at that place, too. There's witnesses, there we go. Lord Van Zieks was at the club? He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the Inspector's secret notebook.
Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably then there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there. None have been identified at this time. No. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. Oi! Why aren't you asking Inspector Lestrade here, eh? So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with that ice-cold stare of hers, is she?
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Lord Van Zieks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
You don't think Lord Van Zieks could have been lying to us, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this.
Oh?
If everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere.
You mean, there are details we've yet to uncover?
Exactly. A clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for here.
Well, the only thing that I turned up was the whole grouse thing. Do we have anything to do with it? This is just his passport. There's nothing on this that would identify. Yeah, because we've already looked it over. Oh, can we examine this again?
Look at this dark stain here, do you think?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
I knew you were going to say that.
So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes.
Do you think Gina's been carrying this around with her? If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips.
Well, that was the exact same dialogue. Why would they make it examinable again if it's all the same?
Let's have a look inside.
Nope, it's all the same stuff. Okay, well, it shouldn't matter. I shouldn't have to redo that. Actually. I'll open it again. Because previously it didn't update that there was this, like, tip of a knife or whatever stuck in here. Maybe we can get that this time.
You see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk there. It's glinting.
It looks like a fragment of metal of some sort. But it's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it.
Well, don't cut yourself. You'd better leave it, I think.
Yeah, see? And, like, if I examine the gash, that doesn't get updated either.
Have you seen the huge gas across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind.
Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force.
I wonder how it happened.
Okay, that's all the same. The grouse. What the fuck does the grouse have to do with anything? Oh, I know why the inspections reset. Because this is a new trial. So it's all gonna treat it as new things. This is just the flat. Every time death is not possible. No. Does anything have any relation to the grouse? That's a ticket. Yeah. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS... Was this club on a boat? The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th of September. London arrival 1st November.
This is what the Princeton Kotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's called Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before final. That's where. Oh my god! I would never have put that together without examining this. So then Gregson did go to France. When did he get back? When did he leave? He couldn't have left that day. Presumably from England to France is much longer than... Because they didn't really have proper trains at that point, right? Like, they had some basic locomotives, but I don't think they had the rail that they have now. I think I called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover.
To think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Burya. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh?
So that steamship. So what they told that happened at Jen was called the Grouse. But do I present the ticket showing the boat? Or his travel? That really is the only thing I can think of at the moment.
Hold it!
And when she explained this, it didn't really have much. Yeah, I don't know what court club. Kinda curious. Not a place where you'd be admitted. Yard. Okay, so nothing helpful actually comes in through that part. Do I present the... I think I present it here. The passport and pray.
Objection!
Nope. That's not it.
My lord, as counsel for the defense, I must object to that last statement. And as the judge, I must deny your objection. There is no contradiction here. Oh. No contradiction other than the fact that a Far Eastern lawyer is practicing in a British courtroom. Damn, okay, asshole, fine. Put there by a not so far away Lord Chief Justice, if you remember.
Where do I go from here? Can't find anything other place. Okay, come on. I know what I'm putting together now because the steamship ticket was the Grouse and it stopped in Dunkirk and then he was in Dunkirk. So the steamship that they arrived on was involved in the smuggling. I know that's the direction I want to go. Do I have to present the ticket now? Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas.
Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then?
Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. That was... Oh!
What is it?
It was for travel on the 31st of October, just one day before the incident.
What? Really? Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered?
Yeah, we already have that revelation. Let's try the ticket.
Objection!
Oh, it is meant to be the ticket. Okay, I overthought it. I'm sorry, guys. That's on me.
I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called The Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very reverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. The other side, my lord. Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes? The SS Grouse.
Objection!
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived at the port of Dover on the 1st of November. A day on which a sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, the 31st of October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission. That ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That was where they make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection!
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that last assertion. Very well. In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October.
There is the passport.
Take
Bap.
that!
I just did it a little bit out of order. Don't mind me.
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim. Dated 31st of October. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there is a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country.
And that would explain why Barrack von Zieks would be seen at the club while Gregson wasn't. Gregson knew it was a ship, while Barrack von Zieks had no idea there was the ship, so he probably, as a member of the aristocracy himself, assumed the club was the only answer. Okay.
Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? Prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations, and the London prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asugi? A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper? Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine. By the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. Barak Van Zieks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson. What the hell do you think you're saying there? My boss would never done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be.
We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zieks. No, the Reaper is somebody else. Barak Van Zieks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Well, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, counsel? Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Shigoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade? What? The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all them bludgers were got taken out, I'd come in. The boss weren't the Reaper! Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you've spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing. I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't... I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Oh, this poor girl. She's really going through it. Yeah. These two games are just poor Gina over and over again. Ugh, jeez. The Reaper's notebook.
This notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates and places and stuff. And the last entry in there was 31st of October. It said grouse for the place on that date, and on the name of the mark. I doesn't know about him being a criminal who got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. It was just investigating the Reaper, that's all. Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here. This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper. So who was be this final mark? Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the gross on the 31st of October. How do you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. Ain't the problem, alright, Otto? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read. So it's someone from overseas? Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro, is it? Yeah, Seishiro? Jigokyu, maybe? What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku? But that's Judge Jigoku. Seishiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right. But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated. As I said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector, personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Barak van Zieks. It's an undeniably logical argument. Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Who? You? No. You! Oh, it's been a while since I heard your voice. Okay, alright, take over the stand, why don't you? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollowed chalice whilst I stand accused of murder. Just drinking the pain away while listening to us go on. Lord Van Zieks, the accused has no right to speak uninvited in the court. You will return to the dock. Van Zieks could do late comment on your right, oh my god!
Now the question is who he would do it to. I guess Ryunosuke? Because who else do we ship him with? Not really anyone. Maybe Albert Hairbrain, his one friend. Friend, quotation marks, fellas.
I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper, and that's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective. What? No, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Fancies wouldn't even do it as romantic justice, just an assertion of power.
Or put the leg up against the wall like, can you do this? Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony, it's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I'm the Reaper. Who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago? But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony. What did you say?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance.
My lord, the defense requests that the defendants be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness. Very well, I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
Then cheek slap.
At once, my lord. The Reaper's notebook. This notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years.
Hold it!
In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper. Not you at all. Not the only explanation, is it? It could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and that notebook said what he found out. If I may. When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What are you on about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you at its head. I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere, so I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse? Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate, alone.
So that explains why several members of the club claimed to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook.
Fine. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? No, it is suspicious that he knew about the trunk, isn't it? Names of victims, dates and places and stuff. And the last entry in there was 31st of October.
Hold it!
Names of victims, dates, places and stuff? What in particular? Well, besides the victim's names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? That's the one I told you yesterday. Same name written over and over again. You mean Assassin? Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours at Summit, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? Assassin. The assassin. What? Like, a killer, you mean? Gregson was a tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable, and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying. Oh no, their voices are starting to merge. Oh no, help me. If that's true, there we go. That's what we're supposed to be looking for. If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Then perhaps what it said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been? Clearly, the assassin who was meant to take Seishiro Jigoku's life. Jaina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jigoku. What name was written? Well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens. What? It just added like a question mark or something there, I think. In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
A nameless assassin. It said Grouse for placing that date and the name of the mark.
Hold it!
And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jigoku. That's what it said. Fine name, if you ask me. I thought your name was odd. I'm so pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. There we go. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Strongheart was Judge Shigoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the Professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook. I didn't think it was possible, but the mood news got even worse now. Maybe let's keep talking.
No, Gina, I love you.
There's no bad in being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something.
Hold it!
What do you mean a criminal? Judge Shigoku is no criminal. But don't ask me, I don't know nothing about it.
Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Shigoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the Professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, you're right. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify, but he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I had forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens. You did? It was considered to be an adjunct to the Professor proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage he caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Shigoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. Come on, that's absurd! To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who've been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But... Objection? I've had just about enough of this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Otto. Yes? Why aren't you saying nothing? Why? Why aren't you yelling out objection or something? What? You gotta find a flaw, you do usually. Someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work out who it is. Please. For the boss. That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Mrs. Strahd. Is that clear? I've had it with a lot of you. Besides, every blooming place you look in this world, isn't it? Well, I've had enough. Gina. So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Miss Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Oh, do you mean? I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. Oh, come on, Otto, help! You've got to find a flaw somewhere. It was way back here.
Hold it!
I think it was at least. In other words, keeping the Reaper in secret. Oh, sorry, I don't think it was the first one. Maybe it was the second one. Because he mentioned the book. Not the book, the chest. No, that was it. That was it. But it didn't lead anything new there. Okay, hang on. Let's Just in case we're missing a flag, let's go back here and press.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. Huh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency? Really, Otto? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... You, Kazuma! Why the fuck did you know about the trunk? By you, Kazuma Asugi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, Counsel? Prosecutor Asugi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you realize what you've done. Very well then, Counsel, go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Asugi has said?
Am I supposed to present the trunk or the passport here? Because we were talking about the passport, but he said it was found in the trunk, which he shouldn't have known. I'll just present the trunk and go for it.
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? A blood stain. And a relatively fresh one, too. What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There's no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it, me, with me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
Objection!
But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On the 31st of October, where exactly were you? I'm sorry? At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? Kazuma, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Cosmo was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose. No, Miss Naruhodo, surely you don't think... Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it, beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector. He was there, with Gregson. There's a clue that you've overlooked, a secret that trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point, I'll need to verify it, but I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right. The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify the court where in the trunk this alleged clue can be found. Where is the evidence that ties Prosecutor Asugi to Inspector Gregson?
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's have a look inside. Do 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 do. There is the metal chip. See that? Did any of this change? Something stuck inside its glinting. It's like a fragment of metal of some sort, but it's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it.
Well, don't cut yourself. You'd better leave it, I think. Yep, there we go.
Got it!
There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. Huh? A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it? Here in this courtroom, for all to see. Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asage like a hawk. That won't be necessary.
There it is.
Oh no! The tip is broken. If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed, Kazuma Asagi? Expertly done, Miyanosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asagi? Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk. In order to carry out a mission. So the additional person authorized to travel was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it?
We can believe Cosmo-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day.
On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
Can I have a blueberry bit real quick? Oh, nom, nom, nom. Actually, I might as well just finish it now because I'm hungry. Oh. Ah, delicious blueberries. He went to Judge Jigoku's cabin?
Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, But you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town, and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house in Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and to end his wretched agent's life. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder. But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? I don't need to answer that. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragmented Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. And accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter.
I'm gonna say right to remain silent. Oops.
Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord.
The great sword Karuma. The illustrious blade passed down to the generations of the Asagi clan. The prized sword's tip has a small piece missing.
We must take immediate action now to verify whether Seishiro Jigoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you? When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you.
Thank you for maintaining your innocence. That makes our job easier.
Order! Order in the court! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. No. Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. The man can't be located within half an hour. We will have to assume the worst. No, not Judge Jigoku. No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake. My lord, I sincerely hope we are successful. If we are unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties. Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
Oh, we're in here alone. I thought I'd be going back out. Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either, but on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careering towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear.
Of course! The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ear? Harley's ears or not? Pull! Here goes then, I'm gonna do it.
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heave! What?
Is that Sholmes?
Ow!
That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here! It's the felt doll talking?
Hold the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
Alright then, I'll put all my strength into it. Heave! Ah! Please, my dear fellows, you needn't pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse. The SS Grouse? She left over last night after the final piece of cargo were loaded. We're currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Strait to Dover. After I left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time. So you mean you already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Herlock Sholmes, world-famous great detective. Recited to perfection, well done.
You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it.
Ow, 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 ow. Mr. Soto, gently with the geniuses here, please.
Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. I'm assuming that's Mikotoba?
If I may, Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday when we examined that notebook and recalled my steamship ticket. Ah, ha, ha, but of course it was my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions out of my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now.
And if we're unable to present any new leads then, I'm afraid to say...
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I've no doubt that we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first. Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver that operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine.
She made a little stuffed doll that'll pull on his ear. That's so cute.
Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Mr. Holmes, we have but half that now before the grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin.
Oh, hi! You're back. What is it? He's got some sort of tattoo.
First class cabin number 2, yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow.
Oh, is it time for the Russian accent again? Oh, hell yeah, okay.
Why are you loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff when you see one?
Oh, are you his relative? Because he was Beef Stroganoff. Oh, shoot. I accidentally skipped past this thing.
Great detective? I don't think so. Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo?
That says Sholmes.
I must say, while such adoration is flattering, naturally it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now. How distressing, my loyal devotee knows me only by my name and not by my appearance. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world abroad. A Russian steamship, in fact. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku. There is no one with this name on board. But we know that he purchased a ticket for passage. You mean Mr. Man. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk, he said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? Susashi has realized that we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No, I have orders not to let even a mouse inside. Mikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse that he leaves the area. Doesn't great detectives see? Not even sailors have ears, both left and right. Come Curses! The plan is ruined! And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Mr. Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Mikotaba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock. Within a mere 5 seconds, so if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So you distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man! So, the game is afoot!
Are we playing as Mikotaba? We're playing as Mikotaba! Oh, that's exciting.
Not another first-class cabin, yet its door is completely unguarded. Empty as well. I had a quick look inside earlier, though I confess I didn't investigate the wardrobe. There may very well be a young Japanese fellow inside, perspiring merrily. If you're referring to Naruto, you know very well that he's currently perspiring merrily in court. Does it not strike you, though, Mikotaba, why the man stands gaudily in front of this cabin when both are apparently vacant?
I see.
This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it.
Let's leave it alone for now. I want to examine.
No, I think not. That would never work, surely. I need to concoct another distraction.
Mousetrap?
This must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow?
Hang on, leave it alone, leave it alone.
No, I think not. That would never work, surely.
Okay, examine you.
He's like a Neo-Temple Guardian statue, this fellow. The way he's glaring at us so fiercely. Tell me, why are you standing guard here if the cabin is unoccupied? Because this area is only for first-class passengers. We must look out for suspicious criminals. He was looking straight at me when he said that. My dear fellow, as you can plainly see, we are quite unsuspicious as criminals go. But still criminals. No. For goodness sake, Sholmes, tell the man. We're neither suspicious nor criminals. Ah, yes, quite right, Mikotaba. Curses, this seaman is far too able for his own good. Be extremely careful in what you say. One of us ought to be, yes.
What is this?
Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing.
Leave it alone for now.
No, I think not. That's the way back to the deck, but we certainly can't give up on this now. That's speaking to members of the crew to communicate with one another around the ship. If I could just persuade our stocky sailor friend that he needed to use it. Sholmes could unlock the door whilst he was distracted. The question is, how?
Alright, well, let's try turning off the lights then. See what happens.
Ugh, what is happening? Where is the light? Now, Sholmes, now! Nobody there. That was a close shave. Quite a knack you have, something so violently in an apparently empty corridor. Do be quiet, Sholmes. I shall have to think of another approach.
Okay. Let's see what happens with the mousetrap.
Choo! That sounds like a big mouse in trap. Choo! I will bring bucket of water later and put out the misery. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh, really, Sholmes? And pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? Pee, naturally, though also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. So go ahead, Mikotaba, do a pee this time. No, thank you, I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. This would appear to be an alarm bell. Set it off! Let's go! Here goes then. Pardon me in advance. You! What are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be a very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once! Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just a stupid trick. No, not by me. By world famous. No, as I told you. Now, Shums, now! And done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gulping like brilliance, Makotoba. In we go! Oh, yes.
Third November, SS Garros, first class, cabin number 2.
Good gracious. It would appear that the occupants of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there, they're Seroshido's, without question.
How do you know his clothes, huh? Huh? Why are you so familiar with this man? Everybody's a fruit in this game.
Well, it seems we're just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. But that burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may, which makes this all the more thrilling.
Yeah, love this theme.
According to the report that was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asugi's wardrobe. Indeed he was, and it was of a similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes, surely you can just tell me what you said. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. I think I'll just read about it in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Quite an exquisite glass, I must say. See here how it... Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy! Chilled drinks! Pardon? Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think?
We've found out where the body was stored now then, okay.
Well, it is a luxury liner after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba. The sight of you is making my mouth water. Don't eat him! I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know.
I can't believe everybody in this game is just fucking fruity. It's completely just the fruitiest of fruits to ever fruit.
As a speaking tube here, look. There's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voice of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose? Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it?
Let's see. This was moved quickly.
These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and or travel cases. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikotoba. There is nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off.
The trunk.
That's a very sizable trunk indeed. Seishu is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Pity, it's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now these situations will be quite different, though. Sadly not, it has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present.
Are you saying you would do it otherwise?
That's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirts, a dressing gown. Mamahiki work trousers, a tanzan robe, a haramaki waistband, clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. It looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry. Indeed, you could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I'd like to drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think.
You can buy those shirts in London? Okay.
Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on long sea voyages. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Cheh, whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me. But no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of the Great Detectives, aren't you? The wall is a slightly different color just here, do you see? Indeed! What you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere.
It's this, I know. Do 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 do. Oh, we don't get to move it. Okay, what about the door then?
All the doors in this vessel have locks, I believe. A wise idea, you never know where and when criminals may strike. But of course, to the great detective Sherlock Holmes, lock, bolt, or short button, it makes no difference. All are unfastened with equal ease.
Shirt button?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
The way you go on, you sound rather more like a great thief than a great detective. My dear Makoto, as long as there is greatness, I'm quite satisfied. Of course you are.
Did I miss examining anything? Oh, the waistband.
This is the wastepaper basket, look. And there's still rubbish inside. Indeed, then let us pry. I've discovered recently that I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' wastepaper baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Ah! Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago, the night before we arrived in London, when I was still aboard myself.
Evacuation drill notice the 31st of October, following departure from the port of Dunkirk. No, let me read it!
Yes, there was an evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once.
A notice about a practice evaluation to be carried out by the crew of the SS Grouse the night before the ship arrived in Dover is found in Judge Jigoku's cabin. Oh no! He found us!
You are still here? Able Seaman Stroganoff, hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize. You are waiting for me? Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of a trick you played before. Oh, poor innocent chicken. It is all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off, now. Of course we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally! The debunking of your deceit and the bearing of the truth. I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all. Ah! And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff. You know exactly what the man is even as we speak, don't you? How can you? Good gracious, Jones, you mean you've worked it out? All of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my inimitable logic and reasoning? Nothing would please me more. What is this? We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Let's go! Time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. Duh, that is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikotaba. Then please do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Right? This is so good! Holy shit! Look at their art. This is so good. Holy shit. Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikotaba. It's been 10 years since we last did the Shomes, not 3. Why, of course it has, quite! Now then, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe, and the answers become clear. So, impress me! I think I can manage that.
Is it the pile of clothes? The large trunk? Oh, I can't even... Cabin door? Mark on the wall. Is it the ice? That there was still some water here? Ooh. Like, had he just been drinking it? The ice hasn't melted? Is that it? The ice is fresh. Yeah.
Take that!
Oh my fucking god, they are dancing now. The fucking tab to kick off the music, that's so good! Holy shit!
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted. Despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshment, Shomes. I'm hungry. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Seishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was, yes, 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Ah, this is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Shomes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. That's the key to this Mikotaba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotaba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow.
Is it... perhaps... I can't look at the evacuation notice, unfortunately. So then is it perhaps the speaking tube?
Take that!
Oh, no. No, my HP.
Mikotaba, no games, now are my words, were they not? Come, Sholmes, where's the fun in life without a little fooling around, huh? Ah, quite right you are. That was a close shave. I'd better rethink that before I'm the fool here. Oh, okay. You must tilt your head to one side and listen carefully to the faint cries of the scene. Hear the evidence calling out for you to find it. Here I am, it cries. Well, your methods were never conventional, but you know I've always been willing to give them a try. Dear God, Mikotaba, open your eyes. It was a metaphorical listening that I was suggesting.
Something... Is it the trunk? He had to pull something from the trunk? Or was it the moved... Was it passage? I'm gonna try the rules of passage. Okay.
He's posing and everything. It's so good. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over here. The shape and size are a perfect match. You're right. When did frame move? Either the most observant of crewmen are you, Mr. Shogunov? I would think your captain is just quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Ugh. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotaba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? Ooh. A gunshot. A bullet. That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? Sorry, walls, I think. I see the projectile has been removed. Clearly the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. And now then, Mr. Shogunov. I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense, as clearly shown by... I don't really know how to approach this one, Sholmes. Ah, my dear Mikotaba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to go at the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that.
Is scarf? Sit. If I try to read it upside down, sit, that doesn't really make anything, does it? Oh, I guess it looks like numbers. It's the code! It's the code, it's the code. It's 523104. Ooh, there's money! So this is what's... Wait, I wish I could examine the arms and see what they have to say.
Take that!
It's almost too obvious for words. Quite the universal language of the world. Money. Duh. And I wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Jigoku. Yes? Gah. So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But... I believe you know, Mr. Shogunov. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Mikotaba, in matters of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You could hardly call this barely perceptible, Shums. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let your topping toes decide, my dear fellow.
It's in the trunk.
Take that!
You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah, the truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air.
Hi, Morgana. She still has plenty of breath. Hi, kitty. Did you miss me? I've been up here for hours now. I have a companion.
Huh? I imagine you didn't count us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? You don't know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about the combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Ah? Now, Mikotaba, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time. Oh god, it's 5. That is a 5, right? 5231045. Yeah.
5, 2, 3. Is it 045? 1045. Ba-bam!
That did it. It's open. Oh gosh, what was your voice again, Judge? You had the medal, didn't you? There he is! Well, Eugene, you found me now. Seishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wish it were some other way.
Are you an assassin? Were they trying to kill Kazuma?
Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil's in the details, Mikotaba. I believe you meant to say, your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, aren't you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed till goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. Oh, Shums. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. Cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am. I've seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin, so you'd already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else from taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugene, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugene. Come on, let's go. One moment! What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that? Seishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France.
Small components. A small machine part that Mr. Sholmes found in Judge Jigoku's cabin on the SS Grouse.
Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant.
That was fun. I really enjoyed that. And now we can definitely see that Sholmes has been pulling our leg the whole damn time he got everything wrong.
Kazuma Asugi, I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all the relevant testimony, and there can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony, far from it. There is still a crucial witness, from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible.
The witness is already on his way, and scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Who on earth is a crucial witness? Seishiro Jigoku, the very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jigoku? You found him! But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk, thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death, because along with Prosecutor Asagi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on the 31st of October. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side. No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day by the skin of our teeth.
To be continued! Man, what an insane first part of Case 5. Feels like we barely even scratched the surface, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this like 3 or 4 parts. And go back. So I also have to contend with petting the cat. She wants so much attention right now. It's so cute.
The unexpected halt to proceedings had a clamor around the courtroom, but outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. Oh my god, look at that food! That looks great! I'm hungry. I want to eat. Food, 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 food. Oh, that is like a whole roast turkey, I think. And, what is that, a meat pie or a cherry pie? Oh, get out of the way! God damn it. We have returned, my dear fellows! Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it, I believe. You've had an even more wearing day than Mikoto and I know. You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in court earlier. So this Prosecutor Asagi had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he is not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma has changed.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I mean, it's incredible to think that he'd even entertained the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin.
I keep stumbling with the word assassin for some reason. I wonder why.
Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. When all this started, almost a year ago now. Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then, about the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say it's really quite a journey all the way to France.
Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes. So, what news of Judge Jigoku?
We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotaba, that must be quite a shock for him. Ah, yes, I picked up this telegraph off at the office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday.
Morgana, stop rubbing up against the wall. Let me pet you.
You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and for the bill as well.
Oh, you've had a reply already.
What was so urgent though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone.
Ah, what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding.
Oh my god, I want to go to the Irish restaurant that we have here and just get like the most fucking Irish thing on the menu, because that's the closest thing to traditional English fare that we have around here. Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up.
In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well. Pheasant! I've never had pheasant. That sounds delicious.
Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there.
Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
That's right, I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey. Mickey. Bruno, Susie, and Mickey.
I see. Well, that's terribly kind of you.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean?
Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean. Oh! Iris, do you mean? Yeah, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened into the conversation you had after I tricked you all into thinking I left.
What? What? The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotaba are Iris's father. Yes, about that, Iris. You know,
I know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris. A pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no, that's quite alright. Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant? So just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. So then let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
Eat as much as you like. There's always seconds. Oh, the poor kid.
This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan, and about Kazuma, I can't let this opportunity slip away.
Why is he curled up like that? Oh, that's so stupid. Oh my goodness. I can't examine the food. Come on. Alright, fine. I did look over the board and stuff, right? Yeah, okay. I like this nighttime version. It's very calming.
Mrs. Sholmes, what are you doing? Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes.
Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, can I discuss some things with you? Certainly, my dear fellow. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me in that fashion. What fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss.
You get it? Because it's unpleasant and also not a pheasant. Haha. Aha. Aha.
The telegram from Japan. So what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then? This. I think my lucky stars had arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asuki, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. What? Those 4 names. We've come across that same exact list before. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states? and exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of a message. K. Osugi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson.
Well, 2 of those are members of the Reapers organization, 2 arms of it. But the other 2... Kazuma, he didn't know the truth about his father. Did he? How he... Then John Wilson, if he was in Japan, what in the world?
We didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. I thought it was a hit list originally. And, you know, maybe it still is, considering 3 of them are dead now. So why are the names coming up again now?
Yes! Where did the sender of your telegram discover that, Mr. Sholmes? Oops. It's on the control line. Which I actually can turn off now. I'm trying a new thing where instead of following my alarm, because it's not consistent enough, I'm gonna try and just always eat my medication before I feed the cat. Because I always do that at 8 o'clock, or a little bit before it every day, so that should be consistent enough to stay on schedule. Oh, that's why she's with me. She's hungry. Girl, you ate this morning. How dare you? You still have a whole hour and a half, okay? Yes, where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes?
I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jigoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo.
Wait, you signed it from us?
I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature.
You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you?
And in my name? I wonder what guise he opted for this time.
Hang on, just having a little bit of chocolate to tide me over until I can eat dinner. I love dark chocolate. I just realized it doesn't list an actual percentage of dark. And then I look on the back, and the first ingredient is sugar. It's almost certainly like 50% of that. But it tastes good, so it's fine. It still has that like dark chocolate lingering richness where it like hangs on your tongue for a while. It's very pleasant.
My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean that Monsieur's collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was...
It was sent to Judge Jigoku? He was the intended recipient?
I don't believe it.
But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies.
I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once.
Let's look over everything that we were just given, actually. Because we got Karuma.
Karuma, the Great Blade. It's such a thing of beauty, I want to gaze on it for hours. The tip of the great sword, broken. It's such a shame, it's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen.
There is no blood on it, that is good. whole thing is spotless. Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures. The drill will take 20 minutes. Crew to resume duties as soon as the drill is over. So then, is that meant to be when Gregson was killed? I see.
You see these little things all over the place, don't you? It's the part of the top of a pocket watch that you twist to set the time, isn't it?
It's called the crown, I believe. A watch would be quite useless without one.
A crown, like what sits on top of a monarch's head? That's a very grand name for such a tiny part. But actually,
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo.
if this is a crown, I have a feeling I might have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very bare head.
If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have.
This is for Gregson's pocket watch, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
What do you think, Mrs. Sato?
I feel sure I know exactly what will fit here.
Really? I was just thinking precisely the same thing.
We're about to see that little round component is actually part of Inspector Gregson's broken pocket watch.
Really? I was just thinking precisely that too.
Perfect fit. A perfect fit.
I knew it. Alright, perhaps you knew it.
I'll make a note of this new information at once.
But he didn't know what it was. That means he couldn't have been the one who killed him. Especially because the gun was identified as one of the British guns. Interesting. K. Osugi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. Wilson died first, and then in the timeline we thought it was Kazuma. Then after that, it was Shin because she was Miss Giselle Brett. And after that, it was Gregson. So if it is a hit list, then it all does match. But I don't feel like that's a conclusion we're supposed to draw because Kazuma is alive. He's been alive. I mean, I guess the Japanese government was worried about Kazuma being assassinated. That's why Hosonaga was there in the first place. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Buria. It was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. We were completely taken in by the lie that you told us. Your great detective's lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Mrs. Soto. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my, you mean?
The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student's lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Osugi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all a native stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you... Think back, Miss Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Osugi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Shums. We know of no other lawyer.
A voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it.
But if it was all contrived... I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her?
Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. I seem to remember Miss Usato and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I wonder if she made it to America then.
I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why are you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see.
Huh?
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes knows.
Should I present this telegram?
There was no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mrs. Sholmes. You're very clear that it was Judge Jigoku's office that should be searched. So, you obviously knew that that's where the list of names would be found.
K. Osugi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson.
But we only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now, and only because they appeared as part of the top-secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that. Approximately this time last year, in fact, when you were both still in Japan. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets, because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know.
Oops, I accidentally hit my mic. Not mic, the mic pop. The filter.
No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it.
Oh my, Mr. Sholmes! What a fabulous line!
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to recipient Jigoku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partly correct, and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow.
Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
So it is a hit list? As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because you see, there was someone else on the list who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asa Shin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed, and accordingly I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
K. Osugi and T. Gregson.
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself, but I determined it would be safest if young Osugi were to stay away from Britain. So that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I've recounted many tales about Osugi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course.
Well, at least now she's finding out when we're sure it's not her dad. Ooh, that still must be heartbreaking though. Poor Iris. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know.
Oh, Iris.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still. That's very sad. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No.
But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis.
A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo?
Ah, yes, you mean about Asashin, I presume.
Oh, of course.
Exactly, she wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Brent. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow, but I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel. And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy?
Topsy hypothesis.
What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Sholmes? I had believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Asashin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front.
Which would of course explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asashin was because he was a target of an assassination. And formed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you there is another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student? Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean... Kazuma? Oh! He did say in court earlier today. Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And that mission was the assassination of the monk. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Surely not!
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin exchange. An assassin exchange? How could Cosmo possibly have gotten involved in something like that? Holy fuck! Let's assume that we have 2 parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. These 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange.
So to begin with, the British assassin dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction, thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh, yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our new countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels? These murders were 2 sides of the same coin, linked not by common motive but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular, devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Seishiro Jigoku at all. It would mean Asagi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Kazuma was here for Gregson? Judge Jigoku wasn't actually the mark?
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe.
Mr. Sholmes.
I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition, that he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. Without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in.
All right, everyone, that's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day. Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time.
Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is a little bit sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie would have been my big sister.
I'm sorry, Iris.
I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. Were you? But somebody like me would be worthy. I would be delighted to become your sister anyway. What? Really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Runo to the floor? Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure.
You didn't have to agree quite so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's going to be my big sister, you can be my big brother if you want, Runo.
Huh? I mean, yeah, of course, if you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Well done, Iris! Must always be mindful of feelings. Sholmes, shut the fuck up. Let him have this. I've raised you so well. Ah ha ha! Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally.
Oh, so cute. They're family. Right, I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now because it's for my big brother and sister.
What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what?
You'll just have to wait and see.
Uh-oh. Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course.
She keeps like chewing on my mat that I have on my desk, and it's a very nice mat that's got a really cool floral painting on it. So I don't want her to chew on it, especially because it's kind of like rubbery.
So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point, exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jigoku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon.
You family! Look at them.
Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me.
I love them. Oh, this is such a good game. I'm not ready for it to be over. To be continued.
Oh!
Tomorrow's gonna be such a fucking doozy. I'll go for these final few minutes and just get up to our end point, but oh my god, tomorrow's gonna be a doozy! The 4th of November, 9:30 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
Before we begin today, I have a brief announcement. As with the closed trial 10 years ago, some astonishing facts have come to light in these proceedings. The revelation that the well-known Reaper is actually an organization illegally executing its own brand of justice, and the discovery that a respected yard inspector was at its heart until he himself perished in an assassination plot. Well, I say to all members of the judiciary here present on this occasion that we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Councils, you will undertake this trial with the resolve to pursue the truth to the bitter end.
Resolve, yes. That's my intention. God, I keep flip-flopping so hard on Lord Strongheart. Every time I'm like, he reminds me of Damon Gann. He must be a bad guy. But then, like, he is here parroting the same talking points that both Cosma and Ryunosuke have been talking about. Pursuing the truth. Including Van Zieks, too. So I don't know. I don't know.
My lord, if I may inquire, the defendant may speak. On what grounds is Cosma Asuba permitted to continue in his role as prosecutor? He has admitted to colluding with the victim in a plot to assassinate an innocent man. He shouldn't be enjoying the privilege of freedom, let alone be leading the prosecution.
I submitted a written petition to Lord Strongheart, requesting that judgment of my transgressions be delayed by 1 day.
You did what?
In today's proceedings, I intend to expose everything. My whole life for the last 10 years has all been leading up to this 1 day. Cosima, whatever the outcome of this trial, I give my word that I will accept whatever punishment is deemed appropriate, however severe. And I suggest you prepare yourself for the same Reaper. Cosmo's bristling with hostility today. I get the distinct impression we're heading into very dangerous territory. Is that really even Cosmo-sama standing before us?
As an extreme exception to normal practices, I have granted this prosecutor's request. The defense finds this acceptable, I presume.
Yes, my lord.
In that case, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed hearing of Beric von Zieks.
The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready.
Very well then, this preamble has taken long enough. Prosecutor Asuki, begin.
As you wish, my lord.
The prosecution calls the first witness to the stand. Bring Seishiro Jigoku into the courtroom.
At last, then, we've reached the final battle. He's putting literally everything on the line now in order to get to the truth. Come on, Ryunosuke. It's time for that steel resolve, because this is going to test it to the limit. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court.
So it was you who issued this, was it?
You're separator. I did what was necessary.
Well, look what the young man has become. I didn't think I'd see the day when you take that tone with me, I must say. The witness will ensure his responses are pertinent to the questions asked. My name is Seishiro Jigoku, a Supreme Court judge from the Empire of Japan.
16 years ago, this man came to London as a visiting student. 6 years later, he returned to Japan. As well as presiding over the Supreme Court, he is also currently Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I am of course fully aware of Mr. Jigoku and his preeminent roles. I invited him personally to the International Forensic Science Symposium as a representative of his country. I hear he also played a key role in the conclusion of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. It was a great honor to be involved in the negotiations. I put my all into that treaty.
Judge Jigoku, I must ask.
Well, I never fancied the young murdering student turning up here of all places.
You acquitted me yourself! And now I'm a practicing defense lawyer.
Yes, and full of self-importance like your friend across the courtroom, I see.
You came here to London by invitation to the International Forensic Science Symposium. But then, without informing anyone of your plans, you took flight to France.
Took flight? I'd have to object to that turn of phrase.
Then explain yourself. What exactly were the circumstances?
Well, I was somewhat expecting this. And I'm sorry to say, I decline to comment.
What?
Leaving the country prematurely when I was an invited guest may be questionable etiquette. My decision is unrelated to this case. I can't be bound to testify. Unrelated, you say? I appreciate that a respected police inspector has been killed, for which I offer my condolences. However, being an alien, I'd obviously never met the man, nor do I know the first thing about him. As such, I'm in no position to testify. It's as simple as that.
Yes, sorry. She's getting hungry. It's an hour until she's going to be fed, so she's gonna be noisy. Don't worry, we're ending soon. You get to hear Morgana at her finest. So you would run from all this?
I beg your pardon.
This case is more far-reaching than the murder of Inspector Gregson. It has ties to another murder, a case that was tried in Japan almost a year ago now.
A year ago in Japan. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson, you mean? That's right. And you, Judge Shigoku, are at the heart of both cases. The defense has evidence to prove it. Well, Ryunosuke, I see from the look in your eyes that you're resolved to carry this through to the very end, too. Let's see your evidence, then. What proof do you have that Seishiro Jigoku is involved in this case?
We'll present that next time! We're gonna save here. No, not on that file. This file. Trial part 2, the Old Bailey. We're gonna save here, and tomorrow we'll pick back up right where we left off. That dialogue from Ryunosuke sounded very much like we're getting to the end of this game. It does not feel like it, but I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is the last stream of this game. Maybe, I could be wrong. I could get very stuck and could draw things out, but we'll see. For now, though, thank you guys very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today, and I hope you guys have a great evening. Or day. I think it's day for you, Sui, for example. Good night and good day.